Now, I want to cover QuickBooks integration, daily deposits, journal entry exports out to QuickBooks, as well as the QuickBooks Import utility that is an optional add-in to the program. From the Collections and Statements tab, I'm going to go to Export Deposits and Journal Entries. Now, there are several tabs here. I'm going to go over to the QuickBooks Import tab first. Now, this is an add-in module to the base ImagineTime program, but this does allow you to read into ImagineTime from QuickBooks your client name, address, phone number information, as well as invoice and payment history from QuickBooks so that you get an accurate aging to start with. Step 3 here does allow you to print a balance verification report. Then there are a couple of optional steps. You can make existing QuickBooks customers ImagineTime jobs and set inactive. And what this allows for, it allows for setup to facilitate our journal entry so that your detailed subsidiary ledger for your clients is kept within ImagineTime and you're just doing a control account in QuickBooks. And then, of course, the last step here is to erase the temporary files that are created during the process. Now, the first option here is to click at the top right here and browse for your QuickBooks data file location. You do need to have QuickBooks open in single user administrator mode while you're doing this import utility. Now, once you get through with that, if you are using that utility, I'm going to go over to QuickBooks account setups here, and now this is the setup for doing export of deposits out to QuickBooks and journal entries. Here is where you specify your QuickBooks account file, your data file. Now it will auto-populate these drop downs here for you, and I don't have any listed right here because this is a demo, but that will populate the drop downs so that you can just drop down and select the proper account from the list. It will automatically pull in the proper type of account for each of the fields. Each field on the screen does have to have an account selected. Even if you don't have sales tax, for example, you do have to have a account selected for that. So you will need to create it in a QuickBooks so that it can validate also. There is a validate account setup button here to validate all the accounts, make sure that they are set up properly. Now, once you get through with that process, there is a deposit export that I can do here to QuickBooks, and this is a list of payments in the system that have not been deposited or not been exported to QuickBooks yet. You can do this as an IF file and then import it into QuickBooks. For US versions of ImagineTime, you can do a direct export out to QuickBooks. Also, there is a journal entry tab here. Now, again, here you will need to do some setup. You do need to list the QuickBooks income account that each of the work codes ties to. Now, it can all be the same account, or it can be separate accounts depending on how you itemize things. But you pick your activity start date, through date, create your journal entry. Now that will actually run that reconciliation report that we looked at earlier that listed out the breakdown, either cash basis or accrual basis. And there is a checkbox here at the top of the screen, you'll notice, for cash basis for GL distribution. So that is the basic QuickBooks setup. Now we are adding some new functionality to the program that will actually allow you to export time information for payroll purposes over to QuickBooks as well. And you can select your employee and your start date of the work week, and then you can do a QuickBooks slip export through this screen that will allow you to actually take information over to QuickBooks for generating payroll. But that is a quick overview of the QuickBooks integration of ImagineTime.